one of the neat things about the internet is you can go out and find things that are already made. This is the Thingiverse, and it's got a million things on there that's already been designed. I've probably printed 40, 50 things off of this. But anyway, what I did is I went logged into Thingiverse, and there it is, thingiverse.com. You can get logged in. I log in with Google, and then I did a search for just a Raptor truck, and I had pulled this one up right here. All files. Here we go, right here. All right. And what this does is this guy is, donated this, and it basically is saying, hey, if you use it, just come back and say, hey, why don't you just tell me what you did? So, that kind of thing. So anyway, this user, the bomb diggity, did a good job of doing this and creating that. So whenever you get it downloaded, you do all that and you go into the files, and here is the STL file, and I've downloaded that file and put it over there in my uh, folder that I'm getting it. And of course, you click extract all, and it will extract this, and then you just save that file. And that is a file that you can use to, edit and to import into your Aspire. All right, we've downloaded the Raptor, and I put it in a folder in where my CNC works at. A way to open this up to import this is just to go right click and then open with, or double click on it, and it will ask the place that you want to open it. Okay, open with, and we're going to load it up into Aspire. It's going to load up your Aspire program, and it's going to want you to, set up your program. And what I like doing is, if your is about 10 inches by 10 inches, I just make it a cube, and everything else is, so I'm just making 10, 10, 10. There's all inches, and we'll leave that very high, and we'll click OK. So that basically makes us a cube that no matter what we do with this to import it, it's going to fit in there. First thing I do is just put it right in the middle of the center of it, and then I can look at it in different perspectives, what size it is, rotate it around, look at it, and what this does is gives me room to, get the model to fit inside the box. And you can resize the model here, if you want to, but the main thing is that whenever you import it, that it's going to, be the way you want it to be. And if it's in the side, if the red box is, your material size is like 8 inches, the only thing you're going to get is this middle part, and you're going to be going, what in the world's going on there? So anyway, so let's just say that I was looking for, this version right here. And so I just click top, and of course you can rotate it in any which shape or form. I mean, you can see we're there that I'm running around. And if you look at all these, shapes, like this is a good shape for important for just the top burn. Of course, it's not the top in this case, and this is a side view, but it does say top. It just depends on how the thing was modeled. And your front of your truck, and then the back of your truck, and left. So left and the right is like the front and the back anyway. So we're just going to use this one as far as that goes. And you can, of course, zoom in and out, look at it, and it's got quite a bit of detail, and it looks really good. So we're going to go to the front. Okay, that's the back. And all I did is double clicked on it. That's the top view looking down. Anyway, that's all fine and good. And, if we were looking for that perspective and we wanted to, see what it would look like. And of course it's centered in there. We're going to position and import. And along that same line here, if I toggle my screen. So this is my 2D view, and this is my 3D view, and that kind of thing. And this is going to create both sides. And if you're curious where your plane at is, this is your plane right here. It's basically going to create both sides of this truck. And that, now I spent a lot of time rotating these around trying to get an exact view. This is actually the best way of doing it. So we're going to just create that right there, and it's right in the center. It's going to slice that down in the center, and you're going to just get a nice shot like that. So, you know, what this will do is we're going to import it. And what that did is that created a stack on top of each other. So the best thing you can do is just click on that, use your arrow keys, and move it up. And of course, it's having to redraw the screen, and it's, you know, taking pictures of it, the screen capture, so it's very slow and going up that way. But anyway, I'm just using my up arrow key and dragging it up a little ways. And once it gets up to that point, I'm going to go there. Then I'm going to grab the other model here and bring it down to right here. And of course, like I said, it's taking this sweet time in your screens. So there's your two trucks, and you know, this is your 2D view. Of course, this is your 3D view, and you can see where, you know, this is nice because you can mill both sides of your truck, and you know, basically you mill the two sides, and it's right down the middle of it. And once you do that, you've got a 3D truck. You know, I probably use you know, whenever I go to cut this, I'm going to use a 1/4 inch on the, you know, the tool path this. So let's say, for example, right here in that, and I'm going to cut out a piece of board that's 10 inches by 10 inches. But you know, at this point, I can go in here and change the size of this material. And let's say our material is, you know, an inch thick or an inch and a half. So let's just jump over here, and we're going to say the thickness is 1.5, and the size of it is 7.5, and the height of it is 2.75. Well, let's say 3 inches. And we're just gonna resize it to the block of wood that it actually is. So if I measure the block of wood, that's where we're going to be at. And so we'll change it like that. Okay, so that's one block of wood there. And as you can see, that's not going to fit on there. So what I could do is I could sit there and take this right here. And what I would do is I would just simply make a new sheet. And we're going to go sheet. And of course, there's our side there. I'm going to add a new one. We're going to call this the passenger side. And we're going to add another one, and we'll call this driver side. And then we're going to call one of them, add a new one, we're going to call that top view. So I've got 3 different views, and you know, this block of wood right here will fit on each one of them. So let's go ahead and move this. We're going to move to sheet, and we're going to call that one the passenger side. So we move that one over this one right here. We're going to move that one to another sheet, and we're going to call this one the driver side, and put that over there. And then this one right here, you know, we can basically say, hey, you know, we're not needing that. So, you know, we can import the top view. So let's say I want to go back in here and import a top view. So let's go ahead and look at let's click on the top view, and let's go back over here to that. Now that I've got this sheet 1 here, let's go in there and edit the size of this thing real quick. We're going to make this 10 inches again, because I'm going to import another model into it. And what this is going to do, just alleviate a bunch of hassles for me for cleaning that up. So we've got that one sheet at 10 inches by 10 inches. So we're going to import right now, go up here to model, and we're going to get a different perspective of that. Okay, so there we go here. And there's our model. We're going to center it again. And now all I want is the top view. So that's right, left, front, back. Since it's the opposite of that. Okay. And so that's our model, and it's in the in that right there. Okay, so we're going to go down here and click position and import, and there's our line right here. So this is going to cut the top view of this line, and I can just cut that. Now my side view, it's got all of that on there. If I just wanted to cut down to this, let me just drag that slider down. So let's say I wanted to just to get it down to right there, and that's the only part that I wanted to get for my top view. All right, so we're going to click import, and it's creating both sides of it. And once again, it's stacked the two on top of each other, right? So we're going to move this up to the top, and I'm holding down my arrow key. And again, I'm capturing screen, so this is going to take a little bit. So I'm separating the two models, that one right there, and then I'm going to bring this other one down right here, and grab that one and use my down arrow key. Just clicked on it and bring my down arrow key. That's separating the two models because it basically created the top and the bottom. And I'm only going to need the top. I'm not going to mill the bottom. So I'm just going to separate them and then get them cleaned out. And I'll move that other one to the top view. Okay, so there we are. There we got our two models, and that's the top view. We're going to get rid of this one here. Just hit delete. I'm going to copy this one right here to that other file, and if you want to look at it just to see what you got, there it is, milling at the top. And generally what I'll do is whenever I'm doing this, I would probably mill that and get that done in that kind of shape there from the top. What I did before is I cut this part off, and then I glued the two sides on, and I'm trying to do a 3D model with it. But anyway, let's grab this thing and right click on it. We're going to move this to the top view sheet and put that right there. Okay, so I'm going to leave this sheet here for the import. We might just call this sheet right here, and we're going to call this rename it. We're going to call this import sheet. And that way we can always just pull it in there and we won't have to modify it or any way. So anyway, I got it my top view, and there it is there. And all I need to do is to take this model and resize it down here for the block of wood, and then take this guy right here, and to resize it, just go down right here, and all I'm going to really do is just move that down and get it to fit this size, this block of wood right here. You'll see that it's starting to appear there. Okay, so I'm going to move it down some more, and then I want it to center it. So we're going to center that in the block of wood, and that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this try to fit this block of wood per scale as much as possible. Again, my block of wood is the size that I'm going to mill from, so I'm going to change the size of this a little bit and work with that. Okay, so what we have now is we have our import sheet, which is 10 by 10 by 10 that's cubed, and then you have your top view, which is a little bit different perspective. The size of the block is basically 2 3/4 inches wide by 7 inches long, and then it's 1 1/4 inches thick. So there's that one, and then this one is basically the height of the model, and it's basically 2 inches tall by 7 inches long, and it's scored basically the original block's 1 1/4 inches, but since I'm going to 3D carve this, I'm going to make the block a little bit longer and add a block of wood to the top of the block so that it'll fit in there. Of course, as your passenger side, we're going to turn on your 3D view and that kind of thing. So this is the block of the green is the block of wood that's in there, and you see that it's fitting inside the truck. And there's the half of the truck being modeled out. So there we go right there. So that will cut that down into that block right there and into the center of that. So there we go there. And so yeah, so I've got my 3 pieces laid out there. We'll go back over to 2D view and jump over on this one here and look at the 3D view on it. And there it is there. And this one here is basically inside the block of wood. So I need to do something with that other one because it's showing it not being in the block of wood. So I need to get that to where it's fit right in there. And so that's kind of a cool thing about that. So the passenger side, if you look at it, and we go back here to 3D view, it's not in the block of wood. It's sitting on top of the block of wood. So I need to get it to go down into the block of wood and fit down inside there. So in that, all right, the way I changed this, let me just undo that right now real quick. That was sitting up on top of that block of wood. So what I did is I went down here and I went minus 1.25 and put that in there and hit enter. And that's going to move that block up down into the block of wood. And that's primarily going to get all that, but it's not quite enough. I need to go down a little bit more so that it catches the very edge of it. So I'm going to go edit, undo. I'm going to make that go down to 1.25. Click on that. Minus 1.50 and hit enter. Let's see if that captures enough of it. Yeah. And that'll get most of the detail of the truck from the block of wood. Let's see what we look like here. And then with the mirror out there. And let's see what we're doing here. Yeah. A little bit of room in there. Get the mirror still out there. And that kind of thing. So that's good. And we're just going to click the top. Click on that, and that's my block of wood. So I'm going to click File, Save. All right, well, I've been doing little modifications to this Raptor Good Don't Delete file, and I've been dialing in my techniques for doing this, and I am learning that there's a whole lot of fine details that you have to work on to get this just right. Anyway, this is the side of the Raptor truck. And we're going to go ahead and just look at the preview on this. I'm going to click on all the toolpaths, and we're going to preview all toolpaths so you can kind of see how she renders out. And that's how it goes out. I'm going to reset the preview so you can watch it, and then preview all toolpaths. And that's the roughing going on first. Then the finishing toolpath is going in and cleaning it up. And then the profile is going around and cutting out all the parts. And I can double click on that and get all that out of there. And pretty much all the parts are out, and I can go around and look at it. And that's pretty much what I would want from that block of wood to be cut like. So there's half of it. There we go there. So that's looking good. And I'm going to go over here to the other window here, and we're going to go look at this other model. This is the top. And there it is there. And we're going to minimize this for right now and just look at that. I'm going to click reset the preview, and we're going to preview all these toolpaths and have a look at it, see what she looks like. There it is, going down through there and milling the top of it out. Just putting the grooves in the top on that kind of a deal. And this would be kind of a situation where I would cut the other sides down and then glue it onto the top of it. But this is your tops parts right here, and I'm going to delete these parts off the side of that, get them out of here. And so that's basically what you have left in your truck, is right that point there. And you know, it does a good job. It's pretty cool looking. So we'll go back to top. Let's go back over here and look at this other side over here, and back over to 2D view, and go over here and look at the other side of this. So here we are there, and I'm going to minimize that for right now, just to look at this. And of course, we don't need to reset it. And there's our toolpaths. I want to look at the toolpaths here in a little bit. We'll preview all the toolpaths. So it's going through there and doing the roughing pass first, and it's going down through there and it's doing the final pass of the smaller ball nose, and then it's going through there and it's cutting out the profile so that it's, you know, there's a little piece down there I could probably cut out, and that looks pretty good. Let's just rotate around here and have a look at it. So there. So there's your parts, and you know, again, we could glue those two together, and then or I can just take the table saw and cut it, you know, down there about halfway and just below where the let's go here, go back to top, back to bottom. There we go there. And so, you know, if I wanted to, I could just cut from about right here and then glue that onto this other model that's on the top. So either that, I could cut the two and then that, but I would lose out on the modeling that's right there at the top. Anyway, let's look at these tool paths. The roughing tool path is basically 1.25 end mill, and I'm just basically taking the bulk that's getting off of there and it's going through there, and it's you know, these are my settings for it. It's gonna do fine. No major thing there. And then here is our ball nose, 1/8 inch ball nose, and it'll go through there and clean it up. I'm going to do that in, let's see here, how many passes I'm going to do that in. Anyway, it's basically going to go from, and so the other ball nose or the other end mill will clear out the biggest part of it. So this will just kind of be making a pass over the top of it. And then, of course, the end mill is cut down through the block of wood, and it's doing it in 10 passes, and that's going to clean up that. I think that's a 1/8 inch end mill. Yeah, 1/8 inch end mill there. So, and then, so there we go. And then again, we go over to our tool pass and reset the preview, turn all our tool pass off, and then just preview all the tool pass. And there it goes through there, cutting them all out. So, doing a good job. I did have my learning curve, doing quite a bit on this file, and in between my 3 files and then my import sheet, which was a good deal, and between my 2 different views, the top views, you know, I had to set my blocks to exactly the right size. So anyway, the file's in pretty good shape, and all right, there she's cutting down again. That's resized down to the 1.25 block, and we're gonna put that on the other side of the truck, get it out, see how she fits. All right, there you go. The old truck side with the doors on it, wheel hollows on it. Let's see what she looks like from the other side. All right, got this jigged up. I had to change it up a little bit and get the slots on the end of it to hold the car so that I could get it in there. Starting the mill and not sure what to do. I tried doing this with just a finished pass. It might have been a little bit steep for this, but next time I use a 1/4 inch. It's very similar to this right here. This is the top view on a normal block of wood, and that's a top view on a bigger block of wood. And then that one's the side profile view. So the block of wood is on a side profile and it's cutting out one side of it. Anyway, this one out here fits down inside that first one that the other block of wood was. And I just shimmed it out with some paper shims to get it centered. And then put a couple screws in it just to hold it down there, the little brass screws right down in there. And then I put 2 notches in the center of that truck because it's not going to get, per se, you know, it's not going to go down past the center of that. So basically I'll just be able to flip that over and rip the other side of it and then glue them 2 onto this other side. Get my side profiles. So here we go. Not real sure what I'm doing just yet, but we'll find out. All right, I'm getting closer and closer all the time. There's the old truck, F250. I really haven't seen what it looks like, but this is the top profile. And I got a lot of hours in it, and we're gonna cut out that bed right now. All right, well, that's what she looks like after the CNC got done with it. There's no sanding that's been done on that. It was just with the ball nose, and then I did a pocket on the back side for that. So we got my little windows in there, and my little vents across the top. A little channel for my windshield wipers. So let's see what we get now. All right, this is the truck after I glued the edges on it, and I glued just the end of it on there. Anyway, going around it has not been sanded, has not been shaped, and anything. It just pulled right off a CNC, and in there's like 5 parts there. And one side is this side right here, which I milled it down to about a quarter, maybe 3/8 of an inch, with all the paneling, with all the 3D action in the windows. And then of course I cut the top part right here, and then I cut the sides off of it on the table saw and milled it down. And then of course I did this side over here as well with the shape in it, and then glued it to the block of wood. Then on the bottom of it I put a couple support deals for an axle, and I did have my length wrong on one of my blocks. I just put a filler strip in there. I'm going to Dremel that a little bit so that there is some handcrafting. But anyway, that's came out pretty good. You know, it's got the windshield wiper stuff in there, the hood, and that's kind of a deal there. So, you know, there I am there. Now, this is the kit, and the kit is 7 inches from end to end. It's 1 3/4 wide on the low side where the axles fit in, and it is 1 1/4 thick this direction here. So that's a standard block of wood, and as you can see, my truck's a little bit longer than that, and you know, and it's a little wider because I can go 3 inches this wide, which these are going to need to be trimmed down just a hair. But my truck can be 3 inches, 2 3/4 wide by 3 inches tall. And when you put your wheels on there, it'll get up there close to that. And then it can be 7.5 inches long. So as you can see with a 7-inch block, I'm right at that. So I'll have to do a little trimming in, of course, some sanding to get that to that point. But anyway, that's where I'm at right now. And so there we go.